Good morning, students. Today we are going to read Pakistan-America's relations. In the topic of Pakistan's relations with other countries in the subject of history O levels. So this is best represented by this cartoon. So look at the strategic depth. This is the depth between Pakistan and America. That Pakistani people and everything resources are get exhausted in this kind of relations. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. Relations with USA. The Pak-US relations based on self-interest. It is an excellent example of opportunistic relationship between two unequal powers. Soon after independence, Pakistan decided to ally with USA. However, USA took several years before it sent an ambassador to Pakistan. Pakistan was frustrated by the coolness of USA towards an alliance with Pakistan. And in 1949, Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan accepted an offer to visit the USSR. So, again, on the opportunistic relationships, an invitation arrived almost immediately to visit the USA. And Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan made this visit in 1950 and arranged for a Pakistan embassy to be established in the USA. In November 1953, Malik Ghulam Muhammad, the Governor General of Pakistan, toured USA. By 1950, USA had decided that Pakistan would be ideal country to counter the growth of USSR. So, look at the thinking, look at the understanding of the USA. USA decided that Pakistan is the best option against the USSR. So, then after that, USA started good relations, establishing good relations with Pakistan. An agreement was signed and American aid began to flow into Pakistan. $1.5 billion as military aid and $3 billion as economic aid. Between 1954 to 1955, Pakistan signed three agreements named Mutual Defense Assistance Agreement, SEATO, and CENTO, which firmly established it as a pro-West country. Particularly joining the SEATO and CENTO, which were the organizations which were set up particularly against Russian aggression. So that proved that Pakistan is a pro-West country now. That's why Russian attitude turned against Pakistan and Russian openly supported India over the Kashmir issue. In 1959, Pakistan under a mutual pact granted American air base in Badaber, Peshawar. In 1962, during Indochina War, USA sent military aid to India, which displeased Pakistan. In 1962, President Ayub Khan visited China and USSR, which displeased USA. So that was the time during which Pakistan and USA relations were on rock bottom. In 1965, during Pak-India War, USA joined UK in an arms embargo on both countries. This was more damaging to Pakistan as compared to India because Pakistan was expecting USA to help, being an ally, being a member of the SEATO and CENTO, but USA put an embargo of getting arms. So that was a very, very bad phase at that time, due to which Pakistan lost the war of 1965. Whereas the USSR openly aided India in terms of military aid. Ayub Khan was considered the architect of good relations between the USA and the Pakistan. When Bhutto came to power, relations between the two countries deteriorated. America did not help Pakistan military during Indo-Pak War in 1971. So Zulfikar Ali Bhutto abandoned the Seattle Pact in 1972. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto again visited USA in 1973 and 1975, and in return, American Foreign Secretary also visited Pakistan twice. During Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's visit, USA promised to lift arm embargo. Bhutto accused Americans of organizing the opposition against him in 1977. Relations reached rock bottom when Zia came to power in 1977 because that was a military coup against a democratic government. So, the relations between the USA and Pakistan deteriorated. Then in November 1979, the US embassy in Islamabad was burnt down. The USA accused Zia for this. All aid programs were cancelled. But after that, the situation turned dramatically. So look at the American attitude now. In December 1979, the USSR invaded Afghanistan. The attitude of the USA to Zia government changed overnight. USA offered substantial economic and military aid to Pakistan, 40 F-16s, and a loan of $400 million. Zia visited USA in 1980 and 1982, but every time USA stood as a barrier against Pakistan's nuclear policy. Although Pakistan was supporting USA in openly against the Russian aggression, so Pakistan was expecting support for Pakistan's nuclear program, but America was not in favor of the Pakistani nuclear program. By 1981, the Americans had agreed to a $1.6 billion aid package over 5 years and a further of 1.5 billion pounds loan at low rates of the interest to enable Pakistan to buy modern US weapons. In 1986, a further aid program providing $4.2 billion worth of military and economic aid was signed. So students, this is another very interesting point that whenever America grant us a loan, demand at the same time to purchase the weapons from USA as well. So we pay. So first we get loan and then pay back the same amount to America in terms of purchasing the military equipment and the maintenance and for the maintenance purpose. So this is interesting. In 1986, a further aid program providing $4.2 billion worth of military and economic aid was signed. Prime Minister Junejo visited USA in 1987 but could not bring any change in Americans' nuclear policy of non-proliferation. USA declined to supply Pakistan with AWACS plans. These were military planes. These were the more advanced planes at that time. In 1988, Afghanistan and USSR signed an agreement to end the war. So this was another time. You will see now, again the Americans' attitude will change overnight. So almost overnight, Pakistan lost its importance to USA and aid was reduced dramatically. Soviet forces withdrew from Afghanistan in 1989. The Cold War was over and Pakistan's assistance was no longer needed. It was once again Pakistan's nuclear program that the US focused on. Relation between the two countries soared as the US changed its bilateral aid policy towards India. So look at this situation again. This was another turning point in the relationship between Pakistan and America. Now, because Pakistan was no need in terms of the assistance, so Americans' attitude inclined towards the India. So India was now important for USA as compared to Pakistan. When Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto visited USA in 1989 in her first regime, America promised to supply 60 F-16 AWACS and Harpoon missiles. Pakistan paid 658 million US dollars as its price, but Pressler Amendment banned Pakistan of this supply. So this was another situation, interesting situation at that time. Pakistan paid for the military equipment, but America neither give the military equipment nor paid back the amount. So what an interesting situation. Within a brief period, all channels of the bilateral aid to Pakistan were shut down. In 1992, US Ambassador Nicholas Platt said that US will place Pakistan on the state sponsor of the terrorism list because Pakistan was supposed to help terrorists in Afghanistan and interfering in India. So that was the rock bottom stage of relationship between Pakistan and US. Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto again visited USA in her second regime in 1993. At this time, President Clinton expressed his intention that Pakistan should be supplied with F-16s or the amount paid should be refunded. During democratic regimes in Pakistan between 1988 and 1999, the US provided negligible economic aid and almost no military assistance. In May 1998, Pakistan carried out nuclear tests. The relations deteriorated further. Under the Glenn Amendments, severe sanctions were imposed. Our Foreign Secretary visited USA in 1998 for discussions on the nuclear issue with the US Under Secretary Straub Talbot. Clearly, the US policy towards Pakistan has been based on the achievement of the immediate US foreign policy goals. So this was the topic, students. So read this lecture again, make your notes and learn it. Thank you so much.